Hello, everyone. My guest today is Chris Matty. He is leading a company called Versium, which delivers automated predictive analytics solutions, which provide actionable data intelligence faster, more accurately, and at a fraction of the cost of hiring expensive data science teams or professional services organizations. Chris, are you ready to take us to the top?
I'm ready.
All right, we're going to talk everything Versium today. Tell me about the company. What do you guys do, and what's your revenue model? How do you make money?
Yeah, so we're a data technology company. We help marketing organizations become highly data-driven. What that means is we help them use data more effectively to drive all their marketing initiatives, ultimately to drive significant improvements in marketing ROI.
Okay, and so there's a lot of tools out there that will do the predictive analytics. The biggest challenge is churn goes through the roof because you can't get them to actually take the data you give them and make actionable insights on it that improves their their top or bottom line. So what do you have to do in the first month to make your new users sticky?
Yeah, the first step is, and there's really 3 blocks to what we do, but the very first thing any organization has to do is fix the existing data they have. For example, 40 to 50% of data in a CRM is not usable. It's old, it's outdated, it's not formatted properly. There's errors, there's omissions. So data is a mess. Lots of times data resides in silos. So the first step is you got to get in and fix the data. That makes it more actionable. It allows you to reach your existing customers and prospects better. And it's the first step before you can do anything that has to do with predictive analytics, machine learning, or artificial intelligence. Because if you got garbage going in, you get garbage coming out. So the first step is fix the data. The next step we do is we enrich the data. So we own over 1.5 trillion data attributes, and we're able to overlay that onto the existing data the organization has. That helps the company understand who their customers are better. It helps them understand their behaviors, their characteristics. We use clustering to create new segments that were previously not known or identified that have common characteristics. This then allows you to personalize your messaging. And then the last thing is we take those combined data sets and we train our artificial predictive models so that we can determine or build a predictive model to predict who's most likely to buy the products and services of our customers in the future. And we use those models to guide the marketing effort. So first we fix it and clean it, then we enrich it, and then we model it.
Great. And give me the backstory here. So actually, before I go to that, in terms of when you launched the company, customers that are paying for this, are you talking kind of a no-touch, high-volume sales model or very much enterprise-based? What's the average customer paying per month?
We've got 2 different tiers, right? But 3 different, small, medium, and large. We've got a self-service tool where the average price point is $1,000. Then we go to sort of mid-tier
per month.
Per month. Mid-tier markets, where it's 5 to 7, and then the big enterprise grade, which is 20 to 30 grand, based upon volume of exercising our platform, which generally ties to volume of customer records.
Okay, got it. So I mean, if I was to, just because we don't have time to go down every customer cohort, but if I forced you into an average, is it closer to $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month?
10 grand a month.
10 grand a month. Yep. Okay, so that's very much that's a price point where you can afford to have an inside sales team. You can afford to have them spend 6 to 12 months closing the deal. It's a very different model than a $1,000 a month no touch sale.
That's right.
Okay,
we've productized this, so we've automated the ability to do all of these things. Automation is a key theme here. So we're not doing professional services. We run a high gross margin, and so we've set out to productize all of these different data technologies, which allows us to offer it at scale, very effectively, cost effectively to our customers.
Yeah, sorry. What I meant in terms of putting touch on each sale was before they've purchased, right? So what the sales organization looks like. What is your team size today, and how many of those folks are focused on sales?
We got a pretty small team on the sales side, right? And so primarily because we're using a channel strategy to go to market. We're working with marketing agencies and helping them to help their clients become more data-driven so that they ensure their spend goes through the agency. So we are the data technology partner to agencies. So we launch a business development effort to work with agencies as well as consulting services companies to help take our solutions to market. We do have a small direct sales team, but we're seeing substantial growth using channel strategies and partners to get to market.
And so, Chris, what is the team size today?
6 people.
6 people. Okay, great. And then when was year one?
Year one was 2012.
2012. Okay, very good. And then have you bootstrapped this or have you raised capital?
We've raised 2 seed rounds, so a very capital efficient, $4.2 million over 2 years. The last round was 2 years ago, and we've just notched our 7th consecutive quarter of being profitable. So we've pretty much bootstrapped it. We didn't take big institutional money.
Hey, Chris, congratulations. I wish more people celebrated folks like yourself. You need your own TechCrunch headline. We turned down $1 billion of VC money because we're profitable, right? That would be much better.
Well, you control your destiny when you're not burning. So
that's right. Okay, good. So bootstrapped, you raised. How many customers are you working with today?
Oh gosh, we've got hundreds of customers. We got 300 companies using our APIs directly. We've got 250 to 300 on a monthly basis that are the small and mid-tier folks. And then we got about 50 enterprise clients that are paying us the bigger money.
Okay. So if you just add it up, just because I'm adding all those together in my head, I can't do quickly. If you have just total customers, it sounds like about 400, 500, something like that?
500 per month, roughly, yeah.
500-ish. Okay. And I mean, can I take that 500 times the $10,000 a month number you just gave me and kind of back into a revenue figure of about 5 million a month, or no?
No, you'd have to go lower than that. So when you think about the volume of numbers, the lower end skews that considerably. So when I said 10,000, that's probably not accurate average on a per customer basis.
Okay, got it. Well, if we go back down even to your minimum, right, of $1,000 per month, it sounds like that was what you got to spend to get started. That's still about 500,000 in revenue. Is that more accurate in terms of your monthly?
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. We're at a 7 million run rate right now.
Oh, great.
Targeting about 9 million, 8 to 9 million this year.
That's great. And take me back, give me a sense of growth. So you're at 7 million right now. Where were you in July of 2017 in terms of run rate?
So we've grown about 50 to 60% year over year. So if we go back about a year ago, we were probably, 4 or 5 million run rate.
Got it. So call it maybe 280, something like 280 grand a month.
Yeah, maybe 300. Yes.
Yeah, that's good. And where has most of that growth come from? Is it coming from expansion revenue on accounts you already had, or brand new accounts coming in?
It's coming from working with agencies. And the reason being is that the agencies are getting beaten up by the consulting services companies, right? Accenture is the fastest growing digital agency now. The reason for that is that they're going in and solving these data problems and using data to guide the marketing effort. We see 200, 300, 400% improvement in marketing ROI when we start helping organizations become data driven. And so what's happening is that these Cognizants, Wipros, Accentures, Capgeminis are going in solving data problems, but all of those organizations have created digital agencies now. So the traditional digital agency is getting beat up pretty bad. We come in and we say, we will be your data technology partner. We will solve data problems, solve data silos, and use our engine to drive your marketing targeting. And it's a great winning strategy, and they're embracing us quite rapidly.
Oh, Chris, what I was trying to get at there, though, is are you driving more growth over the past year from expanding customer accounts you already had, upselling them, or bringing on brand new accounts from channel partners?
Brand new accounts. Absolutely.
Brand new from channel. Okay, and what's the kickback you give the channels? Why do they do it?
Oh, they make a couple of reasons, right? In the case of the consulting services company, they make billable hours wrapping professional services around our capabilities. But we also provide a revenue share on an annuity basis for everything that comes through the pipe, right? So when you hit the Versium platform for data cleansing, or for data enrichment, or for predictive targeting, it's an ongoing SaaS-based recurring revenue model, and we're able to share in that revenue ongoing with those partners.
So what is that, like 30%? What's the percentage?
30 to 50%. Yeah.
30 to 50. Okay. So if I back into your CAC, right? If you're acquiring a 12 grand a year customer or $1,000 per month, you're willing to spend up to $3,000 or $4,000 in terms of the kickback to the channel partner to acquire that customer.
I'd have to look at, I don't know I have to get our CFO to look at the CAC numbers to be able to answer that fully accurately, but we're definitely willing to invest in the partners to grow the business because it's an ongoing revenue stream. So early on with some of the new adopters, we're just launching a new dev portal that allows developers to access via API. We'll be a bit more aggressive on the revenue share initially, but we think it'll settle out around 20 to 30% because they're also making money writing to those APIs, or they're making money on the creatives that drive through the channel. So it's a very synergistic partnership. So we don't have to be too aggressive on our revenue share.
Sure. Well, I mean, I would say though, if you give them 50%, that's pretty aggressive. 30% is, a little obviously more or less aggressive, but
initially, maybe the first year, right? To get
What's churn today?
Churn's very low. It's like below 5 to 7%.
And that's revenue churn net per month?
I don't know if that's on a logo. That's going to be on a revenue basis, not logo basis.
Okay, but monthly or annually?
Annually.
Oh, annual. Okay, good. That's really healthy. Good. And that's net or gross?
That's a financial question. I have to get my CFO to answer that. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Are you? It's a big difference though, right? So 5 to 7% churn annually. Basically, are you adding back expansion revenue or not? Do you know?
We're adding back expansion revenue.
Okay, got it. So good. That's helpful to understand. So 5 to 7% revenue churn annually, and that's on a net basis. That's great. Well, I mean, what do you think you have to do to get to kind of net revenue retention annually of over 100%?
net revenue.
Sorry. What that would mean is you would build an inside organization to basically drive more expansion revenue. The only way to get to net revenue retention like higher than 100 is to basically drive significant expansion revenue. It sounds like you've got some pricing axes that allow you to drive upgrades pretty easily, but you don't have an inside sales team built yet to drive that adoption.
Well, the interesting thing is as we start getting in the ad tech space and start having our AI engine driving recurring revenue in the digital spend, that's where the expansion grows substantially, because then it correlates to the ad spend of the business. And so where we're doing some interesting things is in the B2B ad tech arena. The B2B ad tech arena in terms of digital has been pretty nascent because most of the targeting in the digital ad tech is tied to consumer entity data. We have the unique ability to overlay consumer entity data onto business data that allows us to target and increase reach by 4x. So we're seeing big growth in B2B digital spend, and that spend is a ramp up, which is how you get to expand revenue on a per logo basis.
Yep, I'm in enterprise. I just signed up with you. Jane at freshworks.com is in my CRM. I don't know this, but she moved jobs to a year ago and has a new email address. I just signed up for you. How do you know that she's moved? That's not her email anymore. What is your source of truth?
We're constant. We pull in. So we've got literally 10,000 files. So we've got 60 or 70 different sources that we're pulling in from a business data standpoint, as well as we're doing our own crawling and indexing, looking at resume websites, things of that nature.
So unstructured data and kind of crawlers, web scraping.
All of the above, right? And so there are different types of sources you have. Now, you're not going to be 100% accurate with any one file, but we will be industry leading based upon all of that, as well as applying ML-based models to predict certain things. Now, that's all in the business data. Now, what gets really interesting is when you're able to overlay consumer perspectives on top of that as well. So that gives you insight. If all of a sudden you see a physical address from the household, which is a non-consumer based attribute, and that changes, now you might have an indication, if it changes city, there's probably likelihood there's been a job change, right? So that's an example of how you get insights from something that might be more of a consumer attribute, i.e. household.
Where are you getting that consumer data from? Same thing, unstructured data?
It's same type of thing. We've got over 20,000 different fields of data, columns of data we can overlay, both business and consumer. And so you think about it, when you're building a consumer model, who you are as a business person, there's signal there, right? If you're a CPA at a Fortune 100 company,
Chris, I get the product, I get the value. I'm just trying to understand where you're unique. Let me ask a different question. How much are you spending per year on your own data sources, data you're ingesting?
So what's interesting, we own all of our data, right? So we're not licensing data from the Axions and D&Bs. In fact, we supply data to companies like that.
What about the full contacts, the Clearbits, things like that? Discover orgs?
Talk to all of those folks, supply data to some of those folks, get data from some of those folks, depending on the natures, right? So
that's a problem. That's where I get confused in this market, Chris. Sorry, I hate to cut you off. We're running out of time though, but this is the problem. Like, it seems so ancestral. Everyone buys everyone else's data, or if they don't want to use the word buy, they trade it. You give and they get. The problem is what is the source of truth? Like, what is your unique data capturing thing that I would pay you for versus I wouldn't get from anybody else if everyone just shares the data anyway?
So data is a commodity. That's the fact of the matter, unless you have a very unique source. So there are some unique source. I certainly wouldn't probably share that on the airwaves.
Yeah.
Sources are, or how we get those. We apply certain technologies that allow us to do some things. But even if you have a unique source, I give that a somewhat fraction of value, because eventually it becomes a commodity. It's about the technology you wrap around the data. Our identity matching engine, which is leveraging 30 years of experience dealing with the challenges of consumer and business entity data. Our automated ETL processing and data hygiene engine that cleans up data very rapidly. Our automated pipeline. I'll give you an example, right? One of the competitors in the space, to quote one of our customers, it takes them 9 years to build a predictive model. They may have met 9 weeks, or even if they met 9 days. We can build a predictive model in a matter of a couple hours. And that takes the data in, it cleanses it, it standardizes it, it enriches it with our proprietary data, and then it pops it into an automated AI-based modeling pipeline. Throughout that entire process, that's 6 years of work we've done productizing and automating a technology layer around the data. So the differentiation, yes, data is unique. Yes, data is powerful. We'll go head to head against anybody that has Axiom's data or any other data source. Even if we gave them our data source, we would beat them, because it's what we do with the data with technology layered around it. So data is a commodity. If you're just a data business, you're going to be treated as a commodity. If you're a technology company, you're going to get the multiples. Let's
wrap up here in a second. 2 quick questions before that, though. Are you raising capital right now?
We are in process looking at various ways to grow the company. Capital raise is certainly one of them. And, we've got some good things coming down the future.
If you are considering a raise, you've modeled kind of where you would spend the money. So I am curious, right? So if you did raise today, how much ideally would you be looking to raise to fund your growth plans?
Yeah, so where this whole industry is going, there's a lot of companies that are being run as companies. You're either the platform or you plug into the platform. So we believe that the future is the customer data platform, which is going to be the centralized data storage within the enterprise from which all marketing is driven if you want to achieve the benefits. So that's the direction we're headed. We believe we'll have a unique solution in that direction. 20 to 30 million gives you the funding. You don't need to go raise 50, 60, 70. I mean, 20 to 30 gives you enough to build out the team on the tech side, but mostly invest in sales and marketing.
Is that what you're aiming right now? You're going to go raise about 20 or 16 to give you a total of 20?
Somewhere between 15 to 25, depending on the structure of the deal.
Okay, and you'll sell somewhere between, call it 10 and 30% of the business, something like that?
Target 20%, yeah.
Yeah, very good. Okay, good. Let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite business book?
Oh, my favorite business book. Let's see.
Or one you read.
Books.
Say that again.
I said I don't have much time to read books, to be honest. But the subtle art of not giving a F.
Very good. That's a good one. Number 2, is there a CEO that you are following or studying right now?
I kind of find Elon Musk to be pretty interesting.
Yep. Number 3, is there a favorite online tool that you have to build your business besides your own?
Favorite online tool? Oh, that's an easy one. Email. You get everything done from email.
What do you use?
If you didn't have email, you'd be dead.
What do you use? Gmail?
Yeah, Gmail.
Number 4, how many hours of sleep are you getting every night?
Oh, 5 or 6.
And what's your situation? Married, single, kiddos?
I got 2 boys, 11. I got 3 startups, Versium, Jack, and Nick.
Good.
So 11 and 13. So between running around to soccer and being a single dad and a CEO, I got my hands full.
I was about to say, you surely do have your hands full. And how old are you?
Shoot, I forgot.
That's not.
I think I'm only as old as my as relative age of my kids, right? I just turned 50.
50. Okay, last question. Take us back 30 years. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
What do I wish my 20-year-old self knew? Wow. Geez, when I was 20, I didn't know a whole lot.
That means you can answer almost anything and be right.
I think my 20-year-old self, I think this question is a deep philosophical one. I don't know whether to make it personal or business. I think
give me personal.
Extreme confidence. Have extreme confidence. Success will come.
Guys, there you have it. If you're confident,
with passion.
If you're confident and you move with passion, success will come. Coming from Chris, launched Versium back in 2012, ended up raising about $4.2 million to service about 500 customers, paying $1,000 per month, doing about $580,000 per month right now, or about $7 million per year. That's up from about a $4 or $5 million run rate just about a year ago. So healthy growth. A lot of his growth right now is coming from channel partners. He pays 30 to 50%. They're churning about 5 to 7% of the revenue annually. Again, and what they're doing is basically, again, you connect up your data source with them, your CRM. They first make sure all the data is accurate, but more importantly, he's really focused on wrapping proprietary technology tools around the data so you can get more value out of it faster. Potentially going out right now, raising, call it, $20 million or something like that, selling, call it 10, 20% of the business. Chris, thank you so much for taking us to the top.
Thank you very much.